That's right. We're back again with Dr. Mich Egwang, who just found out that he was not originally from Gulu? Lango?
No.
Hey.
What do you mean I just found out? Dude, I'm 50 years old.
You confessed. You confessed.
I confessed. It happened like 20 years ago, man. Huh? But what I am is, above all, I'm a Ugandan. But you see, depending on who you are, I'll either tell you I'm from the USA, the United States of Apache, or I'm from GB, not Great Britain, but Gulu Barracks. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. So what we are going to, before that, an opening prayer. This with you, this has to be a thing.
But dude, I prayed last time, and I believe it's important.
Please.
Father, we thank you for opportunities. We thank you for the team at Creative Chaos. We thank you for the chance we have to be able to share stories. We pray that these stories impact lives. In Jesus' name we prayed.
Amen.
Amen.
So the conversation you're about to tackle actually is a spill over partly from what we discussed, I think, with was it Malaika or Keke, the Brock Genius?
Yeah.
And we have guys who are really talented, gifted.
Yeah.
They look like they could excel in life, but we have to contribute for their caskets and, sit at vigils around a campfire and do a plan on how to give them a decent send-off. And yet in the life before,
they had so much
potential. Them bowling and whatever.
Yeah.
So that episode was called a Brock Genius. I want you to throw a few insights on why one would die a Brock Genius with a pack of natural gifts before we go into
failure.
Yeah.
There's so many ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
As you work normally in society, there are material gains. Or you have a piece of land, you have a nice car, you have a family, so many creatives throw away jobs that are guaranteed to get them these material things.
Yeah.
For the sake of, passion. But on the way, they can't even afford a casket.
Can I tell you guys something? Huh?
Yeah.
In one of the discussions, I don't know if it was in the chat that we had with you guys, and we talked about how important it is to network and to collaborate with people. And
without being greedy?
Without being greedy.
Yeah, selfish.
Or being selfish at all. Yeah. But the essence I want to allude to here is the importance of sharing information and knowledge which empowers you to make decisions. We as creatives are really good at what we do. But that does not mean that we know what to do with money when we get it. Or it doesn't even mean that we understand the process.
Yes.
So I'll give you an interesting example from myself, from one of my first, I think this was one of my first big breaks in life. First year at the university, 1996. How old are you, my son? How old were you by then? Yeah. 1996. I was one of those guys who was an innovator. I was always thinking about, how do I make bank? What do I do? Hadn't yet hit radio, but I was already itching for opportunities. So I was in my first year at vet school, and I really didn't want to die poor. And I saw all these guys driving up in flashy cars, picking up chicks and stuff, and me, I was there going to vet school to study the anatomy of a bovine, a.k.a. a cow. It was all right. It was good. I was smart. I knew that you guys, we call you DJ Bushbabe, but you got to call me doctor. You see? So I've got the title, and I can impact lives, but back then, I was looking for the bag. So what I did is that came up with an interesting idea. I saw the opportunity on campus. And this is something that God blessed me with very early in my life, always seeing opportunity. And I saw guys who are renting out videotapes from all sorts of dingy places. VHS tapes. And the only two video libraries in town were Patrick Bitature's Blitz, where videotapes were 4K or 5K. And then there's another guy called Hassan, had a place called MB Videos on I think it was just Just, you know, the road which had Cineplex, just behind Pioneer Mall. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Wilson Road.
Wilson Road,
yeah.
That's where it was.
DV8 and,
That's it.
Yes.
So I went and I said, why don't I take this service to campus? So I found out that certain tapes can't even be recorded until you have a certain type of VHS deck called a PO3. Dude, man.
Information.
Long story short,
yes.
I set up my first business called Jazz Video Library. For guys who are in Lumumba, it was down in Block C. In less than 2 weeks, every day I was making 100,000 shillings from 1K per movie. And people would come from all over the university just to Lumumba to borrow tapes at 1,000, which was a disparity between 5,000 shillings at what? At Blitz.
Plus transport.
Yeah. Or 3,000 shillings from MB. So I had identified my market, identified a need, and it said, "Bop, hey, make some money, make some money."
Was that the original Netflix formula? Of rent.
I wish it was. But
I'm just saying that you're ahead of the curve.
But this story doesn't end well.
Yes.
It doesn't end well.
Okay, please go on.
Remember, we're talking about failure here.
Please go on. Yes.
So what happens is that I started making money. Every single day I was making 90, 100,000, man. I was making some cash. And for a campus, for a vet student, and for anybody, the year was 1996, 97. That was good money. We used to walk around, go down to Tipsy Takeaway. Me and my gangos, Bobby Red Sea, Francis Ofono, Chris Onen, Philip Matogo, Philip Katongole, Robert Loro. We felt like we were the ballers. We used to rent. Shout out to my peeps. You guys I've given you airtime. You guys owe me. So now what happens is 1 month, 2 months. We used to rent cars out, go out to the beach, go out to it was called Tenywa back then, and it was blast. It was cool. But guess what was happening? I was making money and I was spending it. No financial literacy whatsoever. I had a good idea. I was making money.
But how to multiply it and...
But not even how to multiply it, how to even keep it. Because I was spending it. Because I had homies like Josh who were saying, we go. We play pool. We go hang out.
Cheerleaders,
Cheerleaders. But nobody was saying, dude, sit your butt down. We are not sure that this money is going to be there tomorrow. And lo and behold, 6 months after the business had opened up, Ekudu, the dean of students, said, we don't want businesses in the halls of residence. We're cutting them.
What?
Totally.
Wow.
So from a guy who used to make 100K a day to nothing. But how much money had I made? I think I had made probably over like 20 or 30, maybe even 40 million in that first year of business.
Now you have to deal them like it's cocaine.
It wasn't possible because you couldn't go to a room because they'd find you.
Yeah.
So what happened? I missed that opportunity.
Yes.
Wow.
Classic.
If I had
It's a classic.
an individual, a mentor, or somebody who actually could have inspired me, mentored me, or guided me in the right direction, I would have taken that money and bought land in Ntinda, in Chaliwajala, in areas like Chiwatule, which back then land was 1 million, 1.5,
I mean, those were
2 million.
people's ancestral homes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude,
You'd be owning the deep now.
but that's the thing. So as creatives, you're in the process. You've got the abilities. You can make some money, but do you look for the knowledge? So I can blame people and say that, oh, nobody came to me. But the question was I interested? Did I go and seek out somebody to empower me with knowledge? So we're sometimes in a state whereby we think we know it all and tulimuchi into, oh, I'm a good talker, or I can manage events, or I can do graphics, I can host my shows, I'm DJ Bush baby. So what? Once you make the money today, there's no guarantee that it's going to be there tomorrow.
Nope.
So what you must do is that you must seek out people to be able to empower you with, first of all, financial literacy. And that's something which people don't want to admit.
Yeah.
And remember, I think I mentioned to you guys.
Yes.
Know what you know it well, know what you don't know, and know someone who knows what you don't know. So if I had sought out...
the dots.
Connect the dots.
Yes.
If I had sought out somebody to put that together for me, dude, you know that my car and all my cars before are named after my mother. My first car was called Maggie. Then I had a short one called Meg. Then I had another one called Margaret. Then I had a Land Rover which was called Margarita. This one here,
It's called.
actually no, it's called, the other one called Magdalene. This white beauty is called Margarita. They're all after my mom called Margaret. I would have a Rolls Royce right now downstairs if I had started investing way back in 1996, 97 as a creative.
So you have all this information, finally. You have the knowledge, perhaps the experience, but there's a vice called overthinking.
Yeah.
Eh?
Analysis
2 a.m.,
paralysis.
3 a.m. An idea pops up and like, you even lose sleep. Madam is like, what's the problem? Eh? Why are you overlooking at your phone? Kumbe is innocently, it's an idea that's overthinking. How do you deal with that?
As a creative.
Yes. Because overthinking has killed dreams, has killed visions.
But we also have to think.
Yes.
Not
Of
forgetting
course,
that
of course.
thinking
Yes.
works.
No, but it
Yeah.
is important to think.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you honestly that I don't even think that I'm the right guy to answer this because I'm a victim of what they call analysis paralysis. Don't laugh at your friends. I thought you were my homies.
It's chaotic.
I thought you were my guys. I'm supposed to be vulnerable with you. I thought I'm allowed to share my emotions. Can I share? Am I safe?
This is not.
Okay, I'm
AA.
leaving.
No, we apologize.
Okay.
No, we thought you came as an expert, but now
Just to
you're also
remind you,
chaotic.
just
But
Maybe I'm an expert failure. No, because
Which is good.
Because
Which is good.
the truth is, take an example. I have a
We
project.
serve chaos. This is not AA.
I noticed Alcoholics Anonymous. No, the truth is, I have an idea. It has been on my heart for donkey years. I think like 6 or 7 years. Because every time I do an engagement, every time I host an event or any type of event or any type of conference, guys are like, dude, God has blessed you with a gift. What are you doing to be able to share this with the next generation? And one day, I came up with a blessed idea called LXS, called the League of Extraordinary Speakers. So what it is
That's powerful. That's powerful.
It's an opportunity for me to sit down in a similar setting, me with another person who's just as gifted in the gab and is capable of sharing why they're such a good public speaker, whatever space they play in, whether it's weddings, parties, events, or what. I just want to find out what makes them tick. And we deconstruct them into their DNA and understand what makes them special. And you're doing this while sharing information and knowledge with you. So you want to be able to do this. And I thought it's a brilliant idea. Guess when I came up with this idea? I think it was like 2004, 2005. I don't know. But it's been there. It's on my list of things that I need to do. What year are we in now? 2024. Why haven't I kicked it off?
A pandemic happened.
I could have gone. I got COVID twice.
Yeah.
But Josh, you're laughing. But the truth is that the reason why I haven't kicked it off is that now I'm planning. I need to have the right guys. Then I have to get. Should I buy a DSLR camera? Should I buy a Canon? Buy a Nikon? Or should I buy maybe I need some microphones? Or maybe I have to get lighting. Then I have to finish building my house so that I can get one room. Bollocks. We come up with all sorts of excuses, trying too hard to fine tune to the death. Justifications for not starting. Reason is that we as human beings have what they call innate inertia. Inertia is the inability for a body to move until an external force is applied on it.
Or a threat.
Or a threat.
Yes.
So I will sit here until I really have to move.
Yeah.
You see that? And it's the same thing with ideas. And people, someone once said that the biggest graveyard in this world, it's not the graveyard with dead bodies and the rest is Mirambo and what. It's the graveyard of ideas in people's heads. People are too scared to implement because it takes time and energy.
Sad. That's very sad.
So we're talking about why creatives fail. So Before they even start, they failed.
They failed because they're scared. Because, you know, no, but that's the truth. No, Josh.
Yes,
That's the truth. Stop looking. That's not my camera. That's not your camera. Just there. Focus on your camera. The truth is, we are all too intimidated because we are, and that's why we fail. We are scared of failing. So
the failure itself.
Then failure itself.
Yes.
So that's it.
Like, what could be the worst case scenario? And there is even none.
I had a boss, Mark Walungama.
Yes.
Yeah.
He used to tell me, not me necessarily, but I mean the group of us, that if you're going to jump, you ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario? Now, if you can handle the worst case scenario, you've won. Go. That was him.
Break a limb.
Yeah. No, but that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
We are being managed by our fears. So I think
we suffer more in the head.
You suffer more in the head than in the process.
So is it an institutionalized thing in a sense that
no,
it's a human thing, it's a system thing, it's a it's a way to control us.
It is we as human beings who have hardwired into our DNA what they call a perspective of self-preservation. I want to prevent myself from hurting myself. I want to prevent myself from being ashamed. I don't want
rejection.
Yeah. I don't want people to look at me and I feel embarrassed that, oh, this guy tried and it didn't work. That guy there is fake. You see that? Yet, truth be told,
box office bombs.
Yes. You don't want to be a flop.
Yeah.
So
we invent fear, justify,
and that's it. So even if me, Dr. Ronaldo Michelangelo, has done thousands of events, I also have those fears. I also have those apprehensions. So I think it's because of that it's taken me so long. But now I'm on the road. I've done two episodes already. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's a win.
I'm also there.
So the way you've described those ways on how creatives fail, we have a new way now. Chasing trends.
Yeah.
I would equate it to chasing shiny objects. How does that contribute to failure?
In events in your life, there must be a strategy. You must have a plan. You know, if somebody once said it very nicely that, you see, I think it's the words of another doctor. You know, we doctors, we quote each other. Dr. Dre. He said that, look, he says that if you don't stand for something,
you'll fall
for anything.
And everything.
That's it.
Yeah.
So in terms of interpretation, it means that you must have created a structure, a path, and plotted a series of milestones which I must meet to reach my end objective. That's what strategy is. Because
a set of intentions.
A set of intentions which must be put in place to get somewhere. And that's what, because people use, I need strategy. No, strategy, the simple word for strategy is that I have to have a plan to be able to get me from point A to point B.
But also, I think, why do you need to go to point B?
Listen, in life, Josh, if you don't have an objective, if you don't have a purpose, and you see, if you find out that purpose, because every single person has their purpose. Why do you think His Excellency wakes up every single day? Because he wants to make sure that Uganda moves from being at this point in terms of socio-economic status to that point. So he's driving us socially, economically, and politically towards that. What is your goal? What is your drive? Do you want to make money? Do you want to change lives as a Rotarian? Do you want to make money as a banker?
Yes.
So once you establish that, you drive, you move towards it. But if you don't have one, you're going to be floundering and flipping and flopping everywhere.
And obviously there'll be hurdles, there'll be challenges.
And that's what he's saying, because he's the one who asked the question about following trends. Because, you see, if he doesn't know his objective, guess what? This is my objective. But guess what? Trend. Hey, trend is here. Objective, trend. Let's go here.
TikTok.
Yet I knew that my trend was, let me finish this. I want my content to be good quality content which can go on television. But then when he sees TikTok, he's like, let me try this one here. So he drops his objective, moves here. TikTok burns him, he has already lost.
The fundamental path.
So the objective is create a strategy for yourself. Make sure that if you really appreciate the trend, do you know what you can do? Integrate the trend into your strategy. Yeah. You're still going here.
I like that.
But you see that? But I can have an element of it here. Yeah. Don't derail yourself. And that's the biggest challenge we have as young people. We see someone else doing it and, oh man, she bought a Range Rover and she's on point and now I think I should also buy a Range Rover so that my numbers get up on social media. Yes. Who told you? Do you know what she's been through? Do you know who got it for her? Do you know how hard she has worked to get it?
If you remember the record label era, when we were crossing into, when disruptors like Pirate Bay, Napster, name them, Spotify came in.
Correct.
These execs were up in arms because, again, they felt like, their bread and butter was...
they were eating into the market
But I think the reason they are still surviving, they integrated the new trends
into,
because sometimes trends can become authority.
They do.
Yes. So
especially when they are adopted by the masses.
Yes.
Look at
when they serve the purpose.
They serve the purpose.
Like validation.
Yes.
It's a currency. How many likes do you have?
No, it's not a currency.
Somebody, have you been to boardrooms?
Let me shock you.
Today.
Validation is not a currency. It is not.
What is it?
It is a false currency. It gives you a false sense of belonging, a false sense of achievement. You try it out. Remember, we talked about people who have thousands of Facebook friends and then they die and then nobody's going to turn up at your funeral. Because these guys, so it's the same thing.
It's like imposter syndrome.
It's
but
something.
People are using it.
Nah, dude.
To land gigs.
I am your example.
Yeah.
I'm your example. I'm not going to try to be honest here because I'm trying to prove a point. I will charge top dollar, locally, regionally, internationally. I am not extremely active on social media. I do. I'm there a bit, and I'm working on it for this year and for next year. But it's not a key driver of one, who I am and what I stand for. And people do not use that.
Or the value you deliver.
Or the value I deliver. Yeah. There's a client who wanted to say, oh, you know what, Mitch, I want you to, what are your numbers? And I said, okay, look at your number. Get me the person who has the most numbers and put them in the room with me, and then we'll see. They did that, and they said, okay, I understand what you mean. So it's a false perspective in terms of validation for you to say that because I have numbers. I have likes. I have likes. Yeah. I am achieving. No, it just means that people are paying attention to you. The question is for what? Yeah. Have you ever asked yourself, because
for your noise?
No, not even for the noise.
Yes.
The algorithms of most of these applications, what they do is that they tag on to what you see the most. If you are a type of person who likes seeing people shaking their gluteus maximus,
they keep forwarding.
Then you wonder, hey, why? Do they know me? But it's because they know what you like.
Yeah.
You've been profiled.
You've been profiled, and they've seen that you are the type of person who is more inclined to see a certain type of post. But that does not determine how popular I am. It does not determine what value I bring to the table.
Okay.
Your take on a fake it till you make it.
Important.
Which is closely related to validation.
That's different. That's different.
Does that go in?
No. Because validation validation is fake affirmation. In a way.
No.
Validation.
I will tell you, Josh.
In a way.
Faking it till you make it is this. I think it is the discussion you're having here is more about aspiration. If I have not yet become, I'll give you the best fake it till you make it example. My email address right now is drmichegwang@yahoo.com. When did I set up my email address?
2001?
Nope. 2001 was the year I finished campus. I set up my email address in 1997 while I was still studying. I wasn't a doctor yet. I wasn't allowed to use it.
Yes.
But I still went ahead and called myself Dr. Mich because I had aspiration. And I think it's important for all of us to have hope.
Yeah,
you know that
sure.
if we wake up as creatives and there is no hope, what is going to drive you?
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit crude for you to say it, and I think people can misconstrue
Yes.
that it's faking it. No, but I'll say that you aspire until you reach a point where you can inspire. So I will dress the part.
Look
I
the
will
part.
look the part.
Smell the part.
I will smell. I will make sure I even speak the part.
In the last episode, you talked about
About what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
about faking till you make it. The interviews at Airtel.
Oh, no, those ones. I faked it and I faked.
I say,
But I didn't give up. I kept trying. I kept trying, and then I realized where my challenges were. But you see, now the reason why I can laugh about them.
That's how I want us to relate it to failure.
Yeah, because every single opportunity I was being given, I was failing at it. All the interviews because I didn't have what was required.
the we know.
I didn't have the content.
Yeah.
But when Josh would kick me out of his office and say, "Gwe, tomala ako, you can't handle this."
They also may.
Yeah? They also may. I would go back, empower myself, and I came back bigger, better, stronger.
Sure. Nice.
The aspect of fear of rejection, specifically, I want you to talk to the young ones because
Young kings and queens.
it's a very. I think we agreed to relegate
Yes.
those two terms, young king and whatever.
They're not yet kings and queens.
Yes,
Okay.
but I think we are nurturing a very fragile generation. Phone is taken away, chap becomes suicidal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm told those who've been to China, if you spend some good time there, you'll see chaps, you know, either on Red Bull or whatever, they develop wings and, you know, because an
Literally.
idea he's a graphic designer, but the idea, so the guy just becomes frustrated and says, what the heck?
Was I speaking to you, Bush, or was it Josh when I told you about my son?
Yeah, you're speaking to me.
When my son was 6, at home we have a tradition where at family get-togethers, at our monthly our clan consumption, us as the guys usually sit around the table and we play cards, matatu. And, you know, we're there, we've got specific rules. You can't throw cards anyhow, you have to respect us. You pick 5 is only brought in at a certain point. Man, the rules are complex.
When the joker is thrown,
When the joke is thrown, you pick 5.
30.
You know, they're very complex rules, and they're house rules that you have to, one, adopt and adapt to. Because they're ours. So my son used to see us playing when I think he was around 6 or 7. And he loved the fact that he could, you know, he could be one of the guys. So I said, you know what? I had read a story about a guy, and I knew I didn't want to make the same mistakes with him. 2008, there was something called the credit crunch. If you guys remember back then.
Yeah.
The credit crunch now is something which impacted so many countries so badly that organizations pulled funding, businesses closed, all the top investment companies in the US were hit. The story was told about one guy who was top of his class, made it through to banking and to investment school, top of his class. Then he got a job at I think it was one of the top investment firms, either Merrill Lynch or Lloyd's, I'm not sure, but he was flying high.
Genius.
Got married, got himself a mortgage, got himself a house, a nice house, got himself a nice car, got married, 2 kids now, he was living the dream in New York. Credit crunch happens. You know, the first thing that had to go was jobs were cut. Because of the fact that this guy the whole of his life, he had been flying high and had been winning, only winning.
Yeah.
He had never failed along the journey of his life. When that happened, it was like as if a light bulb was switched off in his head and there was darkness. He had no idea how to deal, how to handle. And that's the challenge we face with the young people these days, is that we are not teaching them how to fail successfully. Are you listening? You have to learn how to fail successfully. Fail in such a way that there is a lesson to be learned at the end of that failure. This guy here lost the job, committed suicide the next day, jumped off of the building. And nobody could understand.
It's horrible. That's horrible.
It's horrible because,
horrible, yes.
because the thing is that he didn't know. And when they did the retrospect, then they understood. The psychiatrist said, this guy hasn't failed before.
Chaos in the head.
That's it.
Yeah.
So what do? I decided to bring chaos to my home. Told my son, you're not going to win. And I told my daughter, Michelle, is in P7. She's sitting in a couple of days. And she's 3 or 4 years older than him. And she understood the game of cards. And I said, no matter who you are, I even told the nanny, told everybody who plays, do not let Marcel win. My son's called Marcel. I said, if you allow him to win, that's at your own peril. Beat the Jama. We beat that guy for a year and a half. He used to cry. He used to think, well, whatever. But guess what?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he realized, how am I going to get out of this situation where I'm perpetually at a loss at the end of the game? It's by learning.
Yeah.
And even when I lose, guess what? There must be something that I did wrong. I must learn. So I think it's important when we have an opportunity to teach people how to fail. Even when you're working with them in graphics and they mess up, you say, you know what? You messed up. We didn't get the contract, or you lost us some money, but guess what? What have we learned from that? Use these opportunities to be able to teach. But if we don't do that, we are building a generation of time bombs, whereby you're going to be working with people who don't comprehend how to work through stress and pressure.
It's like how someone once mentioned that, I think this is again to do with marriage. Everybody teaches you and encourages you how to stay together, but nobody actually coaches you how to separate.
Don't talk about that one, because I tried marriage for 14 years and now I'm single.
I digress. So we have this creative guy.
Yeah.
Genius, extremely talented, but very toxic.
What's toxic?
What's toxic is not a team player, grumpy. He's amazing. The phone is off when you need him, and
some of it is really down to upbringing, manners, character. Yeah.
Mm.
How do you help a guy like that?
Again,
and unfortunately, in today's labor force,
I'm going to tell you that I might not be the right person for this discussion, because
the labor force.
I go tell you the way it is. I'm going to give you an example.
Yes.
about somebody did a research, and it was a live research in the NBA. It was an amazing documentary, and he said, look, I think it was the Orlando Magic. Mm-hmm. Somebody said that we tried to build, there was one of the coaches who said, you know what, we tried to build our team with individuals who were all superstars. And we got 3, 4, 5, 6 stars in the first lineup. And they found out that they kept struggling. They weren't winning any trophies.
There's no synergy.
There's no synergy, didn't get a championship. But then when they changed their strategy and said, you know what, let's just get 1 star, 2 stars maximum, and then get a group of guys who are hard workers.
Hungry.
Remember, key thing here, no one toxic. Hard workers. And you see, this is the sad thing. You have to identify talented people if you want your team to thrive. There is no solution for detoxifying somebody in your office. That's the sad thing. Yeah. I go pray for you. I go hold your hand, I go take you out, I go talk
Cancel
to you about
you,
it.
whatever.
But putting them into your process and assuming that by moving in and mixing them with...
They will improve.
They will improve.
Yeah.
It won't happen. Because just like you said, these guys here have picked up these behaviors over time. And one thing you must understand about behavior is that behavior is a series of habits which have become second nature because of the repetitivity of the occurrence. I've done it so much that it becomes second nature, aka
Part of you.
part of me.
Breathing.
So I am not going to change my toxicity levels just because you said, be a nice guy. I've been greedy. I like sleeping. I like giving people the finger the whole of my life. And now you want me to change just because I work here. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's important that you guys, I'm sorry to say it, in my business, I've had so many people who are toxic and I've had to say, thank you very much. But,
HR, handle.
But not Control, Alt, Delete.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So
You just killed the HR.
That's it. No, but you tell HR that man, which man or your guy, man, guy.
Get the guy out of the company WhatsApp group and whatever.
Guy is not seeing our point. So it's not for lack of trying, and it's important that we always try, because I will tell you that example that you've given is the example of a young talent. And I'm going to tell you, she is right now one of the most talented young individuals. She's a creative. She's a public speaker. She does television. She does radio. She does podcasts. She does TikTok. She does events. Amazing. When I found her and started working with her, she was exactly that. Toxic. Bad. Totally bad.
Yeah.
Poison. Poison. No, she wasn't poison, but she was bad. She had her challenges.
At what age?
No, she was around. Because I'm wondering if I should give her name, because I don't know how she will take this. No, but now seeing that she is all that in a bag of chips.
She understands.
No,
chaos.
Fuck the chaos.
No. She is so good that I can't do my events now without her.
Oh.
Wow.
She's so good that even training courses, because I am looking at exiting the space.
She deserves a prop. Mitch, doctor.
No. Oh yeah, she's good. No, she's good. No, I'm sure you guys even know her. She used to work on NBS, a lady called Kitui.
Yes.
You know Flo?
Yes.
Florence.
Florence works with me.
Acquaintance.
Now, you know Flo.
Former
No,
colleague.
but you guys don't
Former
know Flo.
colleague.
You don't know Flo the way I know Flo.
Uh-huh.
So now, when I met Flo, she was at a space whereby I think she had so many things going on. And do you know what we had to do? She'll tell you. You ask her, what did Mitch do at Eclipse one time? We did what they call an intervention. An intervention was that we got the entire team to sit down and everybody said the things which weren't working.
It was like PEP.
It was like a pep. It wasn't a pep talk.
Performance enhancement program.
No. It's a public pip.
Yes, it was bad. So it was so tight.
Yes.
And after that, I gave her 2 weeks off from the job. And she came back, and that's the thing which made me see that she had seen the light. She came back, and she had changed a little. But then we had another altercation again, and we had another chat, and she left again, and then she came back. This time here, she had changed. She is so good now. There is no better voiceover in Uganda. There is no better event man. Okay, she's one of my top 3 event managers. She's somebody I can give an event and you'll be comfortable.
I think responsibility, motherhood, but she's also been so lucky to go through amazing guys like you, Marcus Quichiriza.
No, and you see,
You know?
one thing about her is that she's willing to learn.
Yeah.
But you know what happens is that, remember you asked, what do you do when somebody's in a space? So what had happened? Why was she so explosive at the beginning? You don't know everybody's backstory.
No.
So what you can do is that you can help, you can assist her in that process, assist him in that process, sit down and try and talk. Some people will change for the better, some won't.
No.
She's a Ugandan success story because I think she's awesome.
Finally, the cost of ignoring feedback.
I think he has answered it partly because the public PEP thing, that's feedback. They gave
I would like a personal
they gave her
scenario.
a list of things that were not working, and she took them. Do you get my point? She took what wasn't not working because.
But I want he's not him.
Okay.
Not him guiding.
Not Florence.
Yeah.
Flo, I'm sorry, this guy don't feel you, but for me, I feel you. No, I'll tell you, ignoring feedback is quasi-suicidal. You will fail so miserably, it will hurt. And you will also miss opportunities. Because you think you know as a creative, but then other people see things in you that you don't. Because guess what? You've been seeing yourself for 50 years. You know, next year I'm turning 50, by the way. I know I look younger than both of you guys, huh? But I'm turning 50 next year.
You know the saying, "Okubienyo."
Chumanyu one. But I've been seeing myself for the last 50 years. So I think I know everything about myself, but somebody else will be there from the outside looking in and saying, but hold on a second. And I don't know if I think in the last episode I told you how a friend of mine called Eddie Okila said, dude, you should think of television.
Yes.
And I had never seen myself as a television chap. Yet he had seen it. And lo and behold, next, I'm on DSTV, I'm on CNN, I'm on Creative Chaos, you see?
Yep.
But other people can see things in you. So never, ever sit back and rubbish. Feedback. Because I'll tell you, a guy who defined my life, and I didn't take him seriously. When I was in my final 2 years of vet school, I was working on Sanyo FM. And I had the general manager called Karanja in Njoroge.
Yeah,
Remember him?
Yes, Karanja.
So Karanja got me into his office one time and said, Mitch, man, I've been watching you, man. You're great on radio and what do you think about doing? What's your future like? And I told him, after I finish vet school, I want to get into HR. Because I stop laughing, wait, Josh, So I said, I want to get into HR. This is a true story. I want to get into HR because, I'm good with people and I'm sure I'll be able to engage.
I'm lovable.
And I can, so I'd make a great HR manager. Karanja looked at me and said, dude, do you know what HR guys do? That's boring. Do you know what I see you as, Mitch? Mitch, I see you as a marketing specialist. You've got the potential. You know what to say, you know how to interpret, you know how to communicate, you know how to come up with solutions and what. I was like, yeah, maybe, but I like HR. I think HR. This was 2002. Guess what? Fast forward to 2024. What is this tall black villager from the north doing? Marketing.
King of marketing. Nice.
So, just because I didn't listen, imagine if I'd listened to Karanja and Njoroge that year. How much further I would have gone. How much earlier I would have gotten to the party.
If you have swallowed the feedback.
If I'd listened. So I think it's important for all of us to listen.
Creatives.
Naturally will be, given the car you're driving.
If my car is missing, we know the guy.
As we close, we have a trigger wall for all the chaos creatives deal with.
Yes.
Which one of these has really hit you hardest?
Or
three lines from here.
Sends you into a trauma mode.
Read them out loud.
Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm still rendering. You guys. My chaps. Dude, we did a TV show. Called the Secanolia security show.
Yes.
So we edited with one of my guys called Cliff.
Yes.
Cliff Oponya. And then Medi Lulego. Medi now works at NBS. Yeah? And a couple of other guys called Yusuf. And so the client did not understand the concept of rendering. So after we had finished, we had thrown in the lower thirds, we'd thrown in the transitions, we had colored it and
logos.
The logos were there, the sound bed was there. We said, and she watched the episode. She said, okay, can I take it now and go and play it at NBS because it was supposed to premiere. We said, no. can't play. It has to render first. And because we have put so many graphics inside, it's gonna take at least 2.5 to 3 hours. It was 3 hours and 15 minutes to what?
Premiere.
To the premiere time. Yeah. She said, no. What the heck? She used every book in the book. You people are there. It's like, we sat there and every word that was used, because we had said, we are still rendering. And they didn't understand the process. So I know what it is when creatives tell you it's rendering. So I think that one there makes something for me.
That one hits hard.
Number two.
The finance guy is on leave. No, that's okay. But truth be told, I've handled that one.
Yes.
For my company, I try to ask for an upfront, and we do that in our sector. It has worked well for us, especially when we build relationships. But for me as a public speaker, as an events moderator, if you don't pay, I don't stay. I don't even turn up for your event because you see, I've built such a profile that everybody has to trust. Everybody has to
Can't
trust.
mess with that. You can't mess with that.
Last one.
Let me see. Last one.
Resend your invoice.
Let me see. We're still waiting for budget approval. I think people.
Does it give you trauma?
No, it doesn't. But
you relate.
But I relate.
Yes.
Because now you see, I've done all the work. I've put everything down. Why don't you just approve?
Exactly.
Just tell me
that you can do it or you can't do it. You don't have to take me around in circles. No, but this I love this wall. I'm gonna take some time.
It's a trigger wall.
It's a trigger wall.
Finally, this is a personal request.
Yes.
You're turning 50 next year.
Yes.
I'm also turning 50.
You lie.
Yes. This is a personal
28th of May.
Dinosaurs.
Miamin.
Josh! You're getting polar.
But it's nice.
You know that it's a blessing.
We got them to inspire young people. Chaos.
Now, anyway, can we do a joint birthday bash or party or whatever? Just for the culture. Just
when are you turning 50?
12th November.
Okay, yours.
But we can meet halfway.
Yours is towards the end. You know what I'm doing for mine?
Yes.
I've been blessed so much by God, and I appreciate each and every single day that I can just get up to make a difference. That I am doing something special. I'm doing 50 days of celebration. I'm in the process of writing out 50 things that I'm going to do. Each of the day will have a different purpose, and I'll highlight it on social media. So, like one of the days, I'm doing a gospel praise and worship, whatever, bash at my crib. Another one, I'm going to do what they call 50 days, actually 50 years and 50 days, whereby every single day, I'll say, this is me at 1. And I give a story what happened at 1. Me at 2. So this happens also for 50 days. So I love the idea that you're doing a bash.
Let's draft a strategy.
My question is
a strategy.
What are you bringing for the party? I'm not going to buy all the drinks, Gwe. Huh?
Don't worry.
This guy has kept me doing interviews. He has kept me doing interviews. Hasn't even bought me a daso.
Look at the chaos behind you.
He should bring a Kaluz 50 man.
A Kaluz 50 man.
Yes.
I knew there was like a story.
Then finally give us that classic Dr. Mich outro, and we get out of here.
Hey, what's up? My name is Dr. Mich, hanging with my boy Josh and Bush Baby. Today we've been talking about failure, and we didn't fail to hit the point. Make sure you catch us on our next episode live on what they call Creative Chaos.
Right.
We're out of here.